Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you might be. It is Friday, May 26th, 7 a.m. New York time. Welcome back to the 10K to $2 million funding challenge. Glad you guys are here. Corey, what's up, man? Welcome in. Man, we are got a lot of red folder news happening today here with the dollar. A lot of stuff happening out in the real world that's affecting stuff in the markets right now. But yesterday was a great day. What a crazy week this has been on the challenge. We have taken 4 trades and we had 3 break-even trades in a row to start the week. And that was just, it was frustrating, but it's just part of the process. You just kind of do it and you follow your rules. And then yesterday was just great. We waited 2 hours for our setup. We knew exactly what we were looking for. Waited for the news to come. We had a buy-side liquidity grab. We dropped down, forming a breaker, fair value gap inside of a breaker. We got a sniper entry. About 25 minutes later, we hit our take profit and locked down 4% on phase 2 of our challenge. So, man, it was just a beautiful, beautiful day. Winning always makes things better. I don't get super high about a win. I don't get super low about a loss. It's just part of the process. You win, you lose, and you break even. That's what's going to happen every time you take a trade. One of those 3 things. And if you know your edge and you stick to your trading plan, for me, my goal is 50% win rate with a 1 to 2 risk reward. And never look back. Just never look back. 50% win rate. And you can see we've had 13 days between phase 1 and phase 2 of this 10K challenge, and we are well above a 50% win rate. If you take out the break-evens, we're definitely above. The break-evens are profitable trades, so technically they're wins. Small wins, but they are not a loss. So we're doing good. I always expect when I take a trade, I accept the loss. As soon as I see an entry get triggered, I've accepted the loss on that trade. And now I'm just going to manage it according to the rules of my system, which tell me to go to break even when price is 1.5 R away from my entry. And then we wait to either hit break even or take profit. So that's where we're at. That's what we're doing. And today we need to make not quite 1% to pass this 10K phase 2 and reach funding status, which is step one of becoming to go from 10K to 2 million max funding with bespoke funding program. Step 1 is buy a 10K account and get funded. And so we need to make $89.23, to reach our profit target. That's less than 0.5 R of a normal trade position. So we will take our normal trade position if we get a setup at 2% risk, and we only need to go a little bit less than 0.5 of an R of that, whatever our whatever our stop loss is. We'll need to reach half of that to be able to pass our funding, our phase 2 10K challenge. So that's where we're at. Man, I hope you guys are having a great trading week. Good morning, Ahmad. Welcome into the stream. Thanks for being here, man. We're just getting things kicked off. It's a lunch hour over in London. You can see we've had dollar weakness. This is the euro dollar chart we're looking at here, but the dollar has been weak overnight. A little choppy, but you can see this is what we want to look at. Let's start over here on our weekly chart. When we started the week, we had said that this was our draw on liquidity. This daily, there's a daily fair value gap right here. This was going to be our draw on liquidity, draw up inside of this daily order block, and reach the optimal trade entry from this last leg down on the daily time frame. So we started back down here, and we said today's Friday, so this was where Monday opened, and we expecting higher prices on the dollar, and this was our draw on liquidity. We have reached our weekly profit objective. And so I don't necessarily think the dollar is going to be strong today. I don't have a strong bias that we're gonna see a deeper run on the dollar. We could. There is a small little volume imbalance up here that we still haven't retraded to or rebalanced, repriced, and that would make a deeper run into your OTE area. But we are at a premium now from this leg down. Price has reached its objectives, and so it could reverse. I don't have a bias, and when I don't have a bias, a strong bias, I'm going to use the lower time frame charts to look for runs of liquidity and displacement in the opposite direction. Now overall, I do still feel like, because we've been super bullish and it's Friday and we have red folder news, we may not get a setup today. I'm not going to push it. I'm not just going to take a wild gamble. If I see an A+ setup that fits my criteria, then we'll try and take down that buck today, that trophy buck. That's what Venator trading is all about. We are here for the hunt. We are here for the hunt. So if we look at our 1 hour time frame here on the dollar, you can see we've retraced. We've had this big run up yesterday. Overnight, we've just kind of pulled back. The last 4 hours, actually the last 16 hours, we've just kind of being a retracement. There's a small little order block right here, tiny little fair value gap. If we're gonna expect the dollar to keep running, where would we might think it stops? Well, you have some sell side liquidity here and a fair value gap here. You've got some relative equal lows here with a fair value gap. So it could make a little bit of a deeper run this morning if it wants to roll up, back up. Alternatively, it could, it's Friday, and much like last week, if you look at last week, we had a down Monday, up, big up Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and then a retrace Friday. And then much like this week, Monday kind of formed the low, and then we've been just running hard Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday higher. And so currently, we're also retracing. This, you know, there's a daily fair value gap imbalance down here. It hasn't reached the wick of Wednesday here. Maybe it wants to fill in this daily body, hit that wick, and then maybe pull back up a little bit. I don't know that we're going to make a new weekly high today. I'm not going to, I just don't have a good feel on whether that's likely to happen. It could, with all the red folder news coming out at 8:30 Eastern in about an hour and a half. Who knows what's going to happen. So I don't anticipate, unless we see some strong liquidity grab somewhere, like right here, if the dollar shoots down in the next hour and a half, if the dollar shoots down and then shoots back up on like the 15-minute or 5-minute, and we get a nice liquidity grab and displacement up, leaving behind a breaker and fair value gap, I might try to take it. Otherwise, I'm probably just going to sit here and watch price unfold and wait for my setups to show up. We waited 2 hours yesterday before we found our perfect setup, our A+ setup. 2 hours, and that's what trading is all about. Sitting here and being patient and watching and waiting for your A+ setups to appear. We're walking into the woods. I use this analogy a lot on here. We're walking into the woods. The market is the forest, and we're looking for our trophy buck. That's what we're looking for. And so we're not just tromping through the woods as loud as we can. We're not trigger happy and shooting at every little twig snap and rustle of the leaves. We're going to go find our spot, sit and wait. And if we get our perfect shot on that beautiful buck, we'll take it. If we don't, if we can see him moving around and we might have to shoot through some brush to get him, we're going to let him go. Because the market's not going anywhere. It's going to be back next week. And these setups appear multiple times a week. We've been trading for 13 days since we started on phase 1. We passed phase 1 in 7 trading days. We're now 6 trading days into phase 2. We had 4 good setups this week. 4 good setups out of the 5 trading days. That doesn't happen for me every week. Very often in the way I trade, I might get 3 for a really good week. So to get 4 A+ setups this week were great. 3 of them, the first 3 were all break evens. They hit 1 to 5. We moved to break even. They wicked us out. A couple of them ended up moving back down to take profit after wicking us out, and one of them did not. And so you don't know. You don't know. When you move to break even, it's to remove your risk off of that position. And you don't know when you get stopped to break even, whether it's going to just keep shooting higher, depending on if your stop loss is above you, or if it's going to run for your TP. We've been bearish. We've held a bearish bias for the last 2 weeks. We've only been trading in line with our bias. The higher time frame bias has been bearish, so we've only been looking for sells. We've been not looking to take counter trends. It's not wise. You don't know where things are likely to reach for or where they're going to want to reverse. And so I don't take counter trend trades. I'm just trying to get in line with the larger movement of the market direction and catch some small little waves. That's all I'm trying to do. 1 to 2, knock it out. And because we're only taking A+ setups, we risk 2% per trade. And we go for 1 to 2, risk reward. And so we've had great success so far with our challenge here on the live stream with 9 trades, 4 winners, 1 loss, and 4 break evens. And that's how you stay consistently profitable in this game. So what we're looking for here, I guess I just said it, we're looking for, you have a volume imbalance down here that could be in some relative equal lows right here. So this is going to be sell side liquidity for the dollar. So it'd be interesting to see if we get a dig down here this hour, or if price just kind of moves around until news comes, and then we get our reaction. That was what happened yesterday, is we waited for the news to hit, and the news, it was the final contributor for our setup to appear. I'll walk back through that. Oh, I got to get on the euro. I'm on the wrong chart. I'll walk back through that one more time here. It was on the 5-minute time frame. We had been watching it on the 15-minute and the 30-minute. So we got on the stream right about here, and we had said we wanted to see a run of buy-side liquidity. So this is how we trade. We wanted to see a run of buy-side liquidity, and then we wanted to see displacement back after liquidity had been grabbed. We wanted to see an energetic displacement down. We wanted to see it leave a fair value gap and create a breaker block. And one of our A+ setups is a fair value gap inside of a breaker block. So here is your breaker. This is a 15-minute breaker. Whoa, what happened? Here we go. So here's your 15-minute breaker block right here. This was the last down candle that created the run on liquidity above this old high. We had a displacement down after the news came, leaving behind a fair value gap after this candle was formed. 15 minutes after this candle was formed, this is the news candle. We waited another 15 minutes. We got our fair value gap. Here's our breaker. We knew where our fair value gap was. We targeted an entry at the bottom of the breaker. Let me get back over here. On this candle right here, we had a sniper entry. No drawdown, literally wicked us in at our entry. We moved to break even over here. It came down, came back up. We hadn't moved to break even yet. We didn't move to break even until price got down to this level. It was right under this low, I believe, if I remember right. But it just, once it started moving down and gave us displacement below this low, it tagged us, hit our TP. We were done for the day. Doesn't matter what it does not matter what happens after that. Our setup played out. We hit our 1 to 2, and we move on. So currently we are running above these relative equal highs right here on the euro dollar. You're reaching back up into this hourly order block. These two candles together create an hourly order block. It's a swing high that creates a new swing low. And so we're reaching up into that. So there are some more relative equal highs up here and up here. This we've reached the same weekly objective we had on the euro dollar, and we've reached back into an OTE from this leg up on the weekly time frame. We're now in a discount, and so we could see price begin to revert back up. You do have a volume imbalance a little bit lower, but we've grabbed the liquidity from this area here. There's a small fair value gap here and a volume imbalance below. So there is still some more on this leg, internal liquidity on this leg that it may want to reach for on a lower time frame. This would be external liquidity, but we've already grabbed it, and now we've had a pretty aggressive reaction up off of this liquidity run. And now you're back inside. This is the weekly volume imbalance, this big orange block that you see on our 1 hour chart here. This was a weekly volume imbalance. We've traded all the way through it. Will it now act as a resistance area as we move into it? We will wait and see. Currently, there's nothing to do. We're watching and waiting. We're walking on the beach and enjoying the view. That's all we're doing. And if we happen to see an incredible wave forming out there, we'll swim out, we'll paddle out, and we'll try and catch it for a quick little run. Again, we just need to get less than 0.5 R of our normal risk today. So we don't even have to capture a 1-to-1. We don't have to capture a 1-to-5. We just need price to move in our favor for a brief amount of time, capture our $89.23, and enjoy the weekend as we will have become a 10K funded trader. So that's the plan. 1 hour on the euro, you've seen a lot of consolidation through London, and now you're seeing a run up. Now that we've grabbed this buy side liquidity, if we get some displacement lower, we would need to see a break of structure. So these 3 consecutive 5-minute candles, if we get displacement back below these, now that we've run buy side liquidity, we could anticipate, and by displacement, see how this is an energetic move up to grab buy side liquidity. We did not have an aggressive move right back down. In fact, we had another aggressive run up to make a deeper dig into that buy side liquidity. So we want to see an energetic move back down that looks like this, that creates a fair value gap somewhere around here. And then this could be a breaker with a fair value gap. And then you have relative equal lows down here for sell side liquidity. All of these relative equal lows here would be your sell side liquidity draw. So you've got relative equal lows, whoops, and which is sell side liquidity. So price may want to reach down into here. If we're going to move up higher for New York, maybe we and we get a thank God it's Friday retrace. You would see, I would want to see a run on stops on one side or the other. We're currently getting a run on stops on the buy side. So we're going to want to look, if we're going to think this is going to get run, potentially we get some displacement below here, a big candle down, leaves a fair value gap in here. We put our entry up in here, and then we get a move lower to target this sell side. But we just need to get, again, for me, I just am targeting a quick, small little trade to finish off our challenge here. Corey, did you take any trades yesterday, man? How's your account looking? You still sitting at one? What'd you say you were? You made 1.5% yesterday. Where are you at now? Anything from yesterday? If we look over on the pound dollar, we will see on the hourly nothing but strength on the pound dollar. Nothing but strength. We've just been running up all night. Just no retracement. Just hour after hour of pound strength. We do have relative equal highs right here and a 30-minute fair value gap, which we'll take a look at right now. So here's your buy side liquidity draw, these relative equal highs, and then there's a 30-minute fair value gap, which would be a 30-minute order block right above that. So this could be a potential area. We will wait to see, do we get a run on that buy side liquidity, and then do we get some displacement back down to give some kind of retrace from London's large aggressive move up overnight. We'll wait and see. On gold, I really wanted gold yesterday right here. I was hoping gold would make a run above this buy side liquidity before it tanked. It did not give us that setup. It left that buy side liquidity in place, completely tanked. Now it still has a pretty good, decent draw on sell side liquidity under here from your daily swing low down here. So it doesn't have to grab that. It's already grabbed the majority of all this. It could just reverse here and head back higher up into this breaker block. This is a beautiful breaker block off of gold. Grabbed all-time highs, displacement below, creating a breaker with a fair value gap. It didn't get all the way up to the fair value gap, which was where I would really want to. That would be a beautiful entry. You could have just traded the breaker, the entry of the breaker. But that your stop, you'd only be at like 1-to-1 right now, so it's not just trading the daily breaker. But breakers are so powerful. Breaker blocks. This technically is a breaker block as well. Last down candle that ran this high. Nah, that's not true. It's a little messy. Technically, I guess that would be the down candle, grab liquidity, broke through. No fair value gap though. I really wanted that liquidity to get in on gold. Let's look at US30. We have not touched US30 during this challenge because it had been stuck inside this dealing range here. It's moving sideways, and we said we're not going to look at it until it got out of it. It's currently broke out of it. I think this was Wednesday and Thursday. And now you can see price moving back up higher. Will it get back up inside that range? If I'm going to be bearish on US30, I'm going to wait for price to come back up into some of these premium levels here to see if it's going to roll over again. The NAS is running higher and making new highs. S&P is also moving higher, but it's not making the same new highs that the NAS is. So US30 is still weak and very far away from making new highs. So yeah, indices, I do look at them and I will trade the US30 if I see a great setup, but currently I just have ignored it until it's out of here. And so now I probably won't do anything with it today, but as we head into next week, Monday is a national holiday here in the States. It's Memorial Day. So banks are closed, everything's closed, everybody's off work. I would probably get on and stream a little bit Monday morning. I'm not trading Monday. The market will stay open and things will be moving, but it'll be a small range day, probably not much movement. But I'll get on and stream and talk for a little bit and talk through a weekly plan and bias and all that kind of stuff Monday. And then we'll go from there. Maybe we'll be funded when we start trading next week. We'll see. So we're just going to watch Euro dollar and the pound dollar. They have been moving and trending and giving us beautiful setups. So we're going to stick with them. We're seeing that buy side liquidity grab again. Relative equal highs. There's liquidity up here. There's really not this is a fair value gap that we filled in on the 15-minute time frame, but above that there's not. There's a larger fair value gap up here that we dug into but we haven't filled in. And then this big one here that we displaced off of the weekly volume imbalance. Again, I don't have a super strong. I've identified where the sell side liquidity is. We've identified where the buy side is, and we've already run it. So now we'll just need to see if we get any kind of displaced energetic move lower. We don't want to see it just kind of trickle down. We want to see an energetic move down, like looks like this. You should be able to identify energetic moves. It should be obvious. If it's not obvious, then just wait. Wait until it is. There's nothing going on that you need to wait for. Didn't take anything else yesterday, but I need 5% more. It's okay, man. Day trading does not mean you trade every day. I say that all the time on my Twitter feed. You don't have to take one trade every day, and you certainly don't need to be taking 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 trades a day. That is a formula for blown accounts, failed challenges, and not profitable. All of the stats from the prop firms reveal that those traders who take the fewest amount of trades are the ones that are consistently getting payouts and the ones that are consistently getting the largest payouts. That's because they are patient and they watch and they wait. There's no reason to rush this process. There's no reason to try to finish in one day by trading multiple, taking multiple trades in a day. Just preserve your capital, and when you see that trophy buck appear, you take your full shot. And over the course of time, you're going to, again, you have to think in the scope of terms of 100 trades. The next trade is not the most important trade. The next 100 trades are the most important trades. That's where probabilities come into play. That's where your edge comes into play. And that's why you have to take every A+ setup that meets your criteria. You need to take it so that your edge has a chance to play out over the long term. So good job on not taking any more trades yesterday. You hit your 1.5%. And you're in profit, man. You're in profit. With Smart Prop, is the profit target 8% or is it 7% or 7.5% or some weird thing? Or is it 6%? I don't even know what Smart Prop is. What their goals are. People come in and watch the stream and then they leave because we're not just calling trades every 10 minutes or every 15 minutes. They want to get in and they want to see action, man. And there just isn't action for a day trader. There's just not action. 7.5% is the profit target. You need 5% more. Are you doing 0.5% or 1% risk per trade? And do you have a set take profit per trade, or are you just finding like market structure, or do you have a specific target on each trade you're hitting? Like what's kind of your trading system that you're using to do all that? The dollar has reached below our relative equal lows here into sell side liquidity. So it's grabbed some of that. And so now we're going to wait and see what happens. Euro has grabbed its buy side. Pound has not yet breached its, well, it did get above this high, but it didn't get above that high. And those are relative equal highs. Doesn't need to dig into that 30-minute for value gap. So technically, it has grabbed some liquidity, but there's still a little bit more up there for pound. And again, we have an hour until the news, so I'm not expecting massive displacement in the market until we get that news at 8:30. I don't have a set take profit, but I risk 1%. I like to trail my stop. Good. You can catch some big moves on those trailing stop strategies. If you catch a strong trend on your entry, and you just move down as structure keeps breaking, you just have to actively manage. And I don't like to sit and actively manage my trades and watch and see and keep setting alerts or whatever, but it's a good system, man. It's a good system. So on the dollar news today, at 8:30, a lot of red folder news. You got personal income month over month, personal spending. You got your core price index, so some inflation numbers, durable goods orders. It looks like they're expecting a slight increase on income numbers, a half point increase on spending, flat on the core price, which is inflation, a reflection of inflation. Durable goods orders, they're expecting a pretty good drop. Who knows what that's going to do? Let's read some news headlines. 1 hour ago on Reuters, dollars set for third week of gains as U.S. debt talks loom large. 2 hours. Rising U.S. Treasury yields support the dollar. And dollar falls are limited due to U.S. rate rise prospects. It's funny, an hour ago, it's like dollar is strong, and all we've seen for the last 16 hours, the dollar's weak, Now you expect to pull back. You can't just, the market doesn't just move straight up. You have to have pullbacks. The market needs to have efficient price delivery. And so we're moving into this 4-hour fair value gap here, small little 4-hour order block. And you've got sell side liquidity, which we've already grabbed. So there's another fair value gap down here underneath this tiny little thing, and this would move us more into a discount area for dollar. If you want to remain bullish, getting price back down into a discount area would be a great place to be looking for further upside. On the 4-hour here, if this is your last leg down, I don't consider this a swing high because this is a higher high. I mean a lower high, a lower high, a lower high. A swing high is when you have like this. So you have a candle on this side as a high. That high gets broken by the next candle, and then the next candle gives you a lower high off of that. That's a swing. See, this is a swing. The high of this candle, a higher high, and then a lower high on the next candle. That's a swing. This is not a swing high. It's an order block. Like there's a reason for price to want to pause there, but it doesn't have to. This is your 4-hour order block off of a swing level. We're reaching up into that bottom of it right about now. And 50% of that wick would be up here in this weekly volume. And you have no fair value gaps all the way up through here. So a OT on this leg would be up inside this weekly volume imbalance here. You see euro is still pretty strong here. And the pound is showing a little bit more weakness, but pound has this drawn liquidity up here that I still think it's going to reach into this morning. And we'll just jump down and watch all this play out on around the 15-minute here. You do have some more relative equal highs up here, just ahead of that weekly volume imbalance. These two candles right here are a 15-minute breaker block. You had a down move, an up move that took out buy side, and an aggressive move down with displacement, breaking with a fair value gap. So this could be an interesting spot right here for price to maybe reach up above those relative equal highs into that fair value gap breaker, and then maybe we get some displacement. For me to take a buy today and take a long position, what do I need to see? I don't know. Maybe a run on this buy side or sell side liquidity here, and then displacement back up after that sell side liquidity gets run. Maybe. This displacement, there was no sell side liquidity run here off of this displacement. it engineered liquidity and then ran away to grab this, which means it's left behind this sell side liquidity here to be grabbed. So we have just under an hour until news hits, and I imagine we're not going to do much of anything here until news hits. Oh, gosh. Corey, you got any big Memorial Day weekend plans, man? A long weekend. This is my Friday is actually my day off. So yeah, I have no big plans right now. We're gonna sit here and we're gonna trade through the news. I'm really, the desire of my heart is that we get funded today. I'm not gonna force it. I'm not just going to willy-nilly get in to try to find a quick 0.5R. I want to see a good setup. So, but I can sit here for a good chunk of the morning in this session to see if we get an opportunity. But after that, I'm going to work out, going to the gym. It's going to be a beautiful day here in the Houston area. Sunny skies, basically no chance of rain. I think a high of like 89 or something. So probably gonna lay by the pool with the wife, take a fun little drink down there and catch some rays, cool off after the workout. I don't know, maybe grill tonight. I'm working on a book, so I might be working on that book for a little bit. I got a couple more chapters I need to finish writing on it. It is a book on how to use prop firms to quit your day job, basically. Step-by-step, instructional. On basically what I'm doing right here, but in book format. That is targeted at new traders, really. It's going to be targeted at people who are just starting to get into this and they need some inspiration and some guidance. Yeah. So I'm working on that. I'll probably spend some time working on that today. Pound is flying through now that sell side or buy side liquidity into that 30-minute fair value gap. You can see the dollar is super strong. The dollar is the euro is strong. The dollar's tanking pretty hard right now. And I don't think we had any news, unless something just, did I miss a news event? Why are we getting this massive displacement down right now? Was there Euro news or? It's your birthday Monday? All right, man. Well, we'll be sure to celebrate your birthday Monday on the live stream. What did we just get? I'm trying to Did the Euro unemployment numbers? No. I mean, that was a while back. I mean, I'm not seeing anything that would cause this on the news folder event. Maybe I'm missing something online on socials that I don't know about. There was somebody said something or something happened in Ukraine. I don't know. We've hit that volume imbalance here on the dollar and it's starting to retrace up now. The pound has grabbed buy side liquidity and filled in that 30-minute fair value gap and retraced away. The euro has grabbed the sell side or the buy side liquidity above those highs and tapped into the weekly volume imbalance and has now fallen its way as well. So now if we get displacement lower, we've had a run on buy side liquidity both here and here into a 30-minute, into a breaker, that 15-minute breaker I was telling you about right here. This 15-minute breaker and that fair value gap, we've reached up into it and we're falling off of it. If we get displacement here, and specifically if we get an energetic move down and we close below here with this fair value gap, that could be a potential setup forming for us before the news in 45 minutes. Ooh, I mean, we would have to see in the next like 15 minutes. Yeah, I just don't know. That doesn't feel safe to me. But it's interesting that we're getting all this run on buy side liquidity right now before our news runs out. On the pound, break below here, an energetic break below there, create a 15-minute breaker here, and 5-minute as well. So, and that was an aggressive, quick run up over the last these 10 minutes here, and then just shot up and has fallen back down. Very interesting. And there was no news that I know of. Is there something on Twitter? Let me see over here. Nothing that looks like showing up. I don't know, man. It's just quick run up. You gonna be what, 21 on Monday? 22? Something like that. Just a young kid. Yeah, I'm not really seeing anything that would have, other than it just being Friday, and thank God it's Friday and people are taking profits from a long week of bearishness. So if you were short back here, like Wednesday, Thursday, if you were short back here and you're just starting to take profits now, you've held all week, you're getting out of your shorts, so you're buying, which would cause the price to rally. But we'll see. This is an important zone for the euro. This weekly volume imbalance, you can see we traded into it Thursday last week. We came back in down to it Tuesday. We failed to displace, came up, then we got our displacement down, and we took out sell side liquidity there, and we took out sell side liquidity here, and now we're seeing a reaction off of it. So with our weekly objectives met on the buy side, on the sell side liquidity draw for the euro dollar, again, I don't really have a super strong bias either way, but I would be more inclined to see lower price. It doesn't have to make a new low of the day or of week, but I would be more inclined to see an aggressive move down before. If we're going to see an aggressive move up, I would think we want to take out some sell side liquidity first down here, and we didn't. So again, on the 5-minute, we've seen our buy side liquidity get tagged twice here and here. Now we would want to see an energetic displacement back below after buy side liquidity has been taken. If you don't see an energetic move, then it's not ready to come back down. It's going to reach for more buy-side liquidity. You're going to know when it's ready. It's going to be very clear. It's going to tell you we're going for sell side now. And that's what we're going to wait for. 20. The big 2-0. I know we talked about this last week, I think, but man, I wish I had started this when I was 20. I wish badly that I could go back and show myself how to do this. And would have changed a lot of things. But I also don't know that I would have been ready at 20 to do what I'm doing right now. There's some age. There's some things that come with different age levels that you can't get, or it's more difficult to get until you've actually reached those ages. It's just the older you get, you just have an ability to, the way you value time, the way you value your money, the way you value your self-worth, the way you value your future. It just hits differently at 30 than it does at 20. It hits differently at 40. It hits differently at 50. And when you're 20, you have all the energy in the world. You have all the confidence in the world. You have all the time in the world. You have all the future ahead of you. But that's not necessarily a great combination for like strong self-discipline, mastery of emotions and psychology. You're more comfortable with risk, and so it's easier to convince yourself that you're seeing something that's not there, and you're more willing to just put a larger position on the line because you're like, I'm 20. I've got the rest of my life. Let's take a shot. You can't get anywhere if you don't take a shot. That's gambling, not trading. And so it's just, I don't know that a lot of 20-year-olds are built to do this consistently. I'm not saying you can't. I'm just saying I don't know that I would have been, at knowing myself and thinking back to who I was when I was 20 years old. I don't know that I could think about trading the way I do right now. And the mental hurdles that I had to clear to get to consistent profitability, the psychology that I had to get to, the self-discipline, not only in my personal life and in my trading career, that I had to develop and build. And I just don't know that at 20 I was ready for that. So I'm rooting for you, man. I mean, you can do it. It can be done. But it's just a life experience thing that you can't just fast forward through that. You have to go through it. And that is what produces character and integrity. And it's what produces all kinds of valuable insights into who you are and how to manage your trading system. So if you can learn if I could go back and change one thing about my trading career, I would just hammer into myself is stop taking so many damn trades. Stop taking so many trades. Just sit and wait. Just watch. Learn to appreciate watching the market move. Learn to appreciate how the candles print. Learn to appreciate where the market wants to draw to for liquidity. It's beautiful. And when you can just sit there and watch and appreciate it, being able to identify those high probability A+ setups is they just jump out at you like, yep, I've seen that before. We know what's likely where this is likely to go in the short term in the next 30-45 minutes, and we can grab some low-hanging fruit right there. Dude, yeah, I highly recommend getting a don't just get a regular old demo account. Get something that you could that could mean something. So get a competition account. We're coming to the end of the month. A lot of these prop firms have competition accounts, free competition accounts that you can trade on off of your main account strategy. So I have them. I get them every month with the Funded Trader, My Funded FX. There's several. They all have free competitions. And if you end up getting lucky on those, you can win free challenges and even some cash with some of them. But those are the accounts. Those are the degen accounts that you want to trade on, not your main account. You get the itch to trade and you just feel the need to throw something on and watch the market and see what happens. Use those competition accounts to your advantage. Sign up for as many of them as you can. If you blow them, you blow them. You didn't cost you anything. And if it means, oh, you can scratch that itch of, oh, I just need to take a trade. I just need to see that P&L moving up and down and get that rush, whatever. Then use those. It's not going to hurt you. You might get lucky and you might win a free challenge. But on your main account, your main challenge, you sit down and you get your hand off the mouse and maybe even close MT5, MT4, whatever you're trading on. Just close it. Because you're going to have time. Well, on my strategy, I have time for trade setups to develop, that I have time to open up the terminal, set up the trade, talk myself through why this is a good setup, or if it is a good setup, and then watch it get executed on limit orders. Trades don't play out so fast. 5 minutes is as low as I'll look for a setup. So we're not seeing any displacement down after we've grabbed this buy side liquidity here. We're not seeing any displacement down now that we've grabbed buy side liquidity. You're not seeing any displacement up on the dollar after grabbing sell side liquidity. So till we do, nothing happening. Sitting, watching, waiting. Always wanting to take a trade, man. That is a big learning. It's just a hard lesson to learn of how to get over that. So demo accounts are fine. Having a demo account, I would suggest a competition account, because it scratches this other itch of seeing how you're doing against other people, not just a demo account where it doesn't mean anything. It's just you with fake money. All this is fake money. All these challenges, they're just fake money. It's demo accounts. All of them. Every single one of them. The difference between a challenge and a demo account is that you actually paid to get a demo account to prove that you and your system and your edge are profitable. Coming into the 8 o'clock hour here, about 30 minutes away now from the red folder news dropping. Oh, got the yawns. No coffee today, just water. I've been doing some reading about. So I've been on a, I don't know, just a trying to get into better physical shape. And I've been for the last 10 weeks now. Just hit my goal weight. I've been trying to lose 15 pounds, lost it. I wasn't obese, I wasn't up fat, I was just skinny fat. And so lost my 15 pounds. I got down to my goal weight of 169. Been doing the keto diet and working out and all that stuff. And so we've been on a calorie deficit for the last almost 10 weeks now. Also have been doing intermittent fasting and longer fasting in there as well. And so I've just been doing a lot of reading about the benefits of fasting and how good it is for you, what it does to your body and how it helps your body. But in the process of going through all of that and kind of learning about that, I have seen multiple times where people are telling, like, you don't need to be drinking coffee or caffeine, introducing caffeine into your body until you've been up for at least an hour and a half. You should be drinking water when you first get up, rehydrating your body. So I'm gonna start trying that. I've got coffee ready upstairs. I may go get some here in just a minute because I do like my caffeine. Caffeine's good for you. It can really help with intense periods of focus and concentration, like when I'm sitting here at the charts and I'm watching this and I'm talking about all this and analyzing it. It can be very helpful. So I may go get some here in a minute, but 2 big old glasses of water so far this morning. I feel great. And I haven't had to get off and run to the bathroom, which coffee tends to want to make me do. Yeah, dude, get in that competition. But sign up for the other ones, man. Make an account on MyFundedFX. Get on their competition. Make an account on the Funded Trader program. Get in their competition. Have multiple. Because if you blow one, you can go to the next one and use that one. If you blow that one, you go to the next one. I mean, whatever. But it gives you multiple opportunities to either practice a new trading system or just scratch that degen itch to throw on a max lot. Whatever your competition rules max lot rule is. And then just take a swing. Might hit a home run. And you might get lucky and by the end of the month win a free challenge. That'd be cool to get an opportunity to gain funding for absolutely no investment. Fantastic. Although I will say, talking about all these giveaways, I don't know if you're on Twitter much, Corey, but my Twitter feed is a constant barrage of people giving away free challenges. Like, retweet, comment, tag, follow so-and-so. I'm giving away 5 10K challenges. I'm giving away 5 25K challenges. I'm giving away 10 5K challenges. Non-stop. And it's just getting old. I'm tired of seeing all the account giveaways on my Twitter feed. And I like to follow these people because they have good content, but it's like pretty much everything is just account giveaway right now on Twitter. It is just account giveaway hell on Twitter. It's like, why are people not buying challenges anymore? Like, why are we giving away so many challenges right now? How is that? Like, what is it? It seems like we're just trying to grow a following, a social media following constantly. So it's so frustrating. It's like, stop. And you notice they're not giving away any good challenges. They're giving away the bottom end challenges, and not that they're bottom end. A 10K account is $10,000. That's why I'm starting. That's why I'm doing this specific YouTube documenting process with a 10K. Start with an easy challenge, an affordable challenge, not an easy. It's the same challenge. Start with an affordable challenge. It's not going to break your bank if you fail it, but could set you up for a massive return on investment. If you can get funded and get a payout, you get that money back, so you haven't even really been out any money on your refund. I heard somebody call it a deposit. Challenge deposit. Maybe. Can lose your deposit if you fail the challenge, but you get your deposit back on your first payout. Interesting way to think about it. If we look at the last hour close, we've had now an aggressive run on buy side liquidity here, above here, and into touching the weekly volume imbalance. Your next draw on liquidity here on the hourly time frame would be this large order block right here. And you have some relative equal highs here and some fair value gaps here that haven't been filled in inside the weekly volume imbalance. Doesn't have to reach up in there. It's done everything it needs to do to grab liquidity. And so now for the next 30 minutes, it's just going to sit around here and wait until we get our fireworks at 8:30. And then we'll watch and wait and see what kind of reaction we get, and do we get a setup. Do we get a setup? Oh. I'm all about trying to grow my Twitter following and my YouTube stream. I want to help people do this. The vast majority of people are not passing challenges. The vast majority of people are not getting funded. The vast majority of people are not getting payouts. And there's education everywhere. There's paid groups everywhere. There's signal services everywhere. There's not very many people getting on every single day for a trading session and showing these people that are failing how this actually works in real life, in real markets. And going from buying a challenge through each phase to funded process. And then what do you do after you're funded? If you can even get that far. So that's why I'm here. That's why I'm doing this is, man, I want to chip away at that 90% of traders fail number. I want to help people because I didn't have this. I didn't have someone that was coming on every day and sitting here and talking about the mental state of what they're feeling, the emotional state of what they're feeling, watching and reading price action as it unfolds live before them, demonstrating patience, demonstrating wins and losses and break-evens, and the emotional thing that you go through when you experience those. So I imagine as I stack funding accounts here, more and more people will get interested and want to watch. So what I'm doing here, there are people that are paying, that have private groups doing what I'm doing right here for free on YouTube, that are not as consistent as I am, as profitable as I am, and they're charging $100 a month or more for private access. And I'm sitting here in front of the whole world doing it for free. Because if you only have $100 to buy a challenge, you don't have $100 a month to spend on these private groups. And some of these private groups, they're not even streaming every day. The guy's not even in there doing this every day. He might be posting screenshots, highlighting areas. But he's not doing what I've been doing for the last 2 weeks. Trade more than one lot on your 10K account. I trade with whatever the risk is for $200 on a 10K account. That's 2%. So I'm risking 2%. So I have a trade managing software on my MT5 account, and it allows me to drop my lines where I want my entry to be, where I want my stop loss to be, where I want my take profit to be. I enter in how much I want to risk on that position, and I hit calculate lot size, and it pulls in based on where my entry is and where my stop loss is, what my lot size would be to risk 2% on that account or on that trade. So if I pull up my MT5, for instance, yesterday's trade, yesterday's trades was 2.85 lots. We had a 7 pip stop, so it was a 2.85 lot, was a $200 risk. The trade before that was 2.2 lots. The trade before that, the 3 trades that happened that were all break evens, they were 2.15, 2.1, and 2.2 were all the lot sizes. And then the winner we had yesterday was 2.85. And on phase 1, let me go back to my phase 1 account. The phase 1 account, they were smaller on pound dollar. They were like 1.8, 1.1, 1.6, 1.7, but we had larger stops on the pound dollar than you do on euro dollar. And that's what we were trading for phase 1, because that was giving us the best setups. So that's, I don't have a specific lot size that I use when I enter a trade. I calculate the lots I need to risk 2% of my account balance based on how many pips the stop loss is. So whatever that is, that's the lot size. And I don't have to think about it. I have software that calculates it for me on my MT5 terminal. If I'm on my phone and away, I'll just take, if I'm trading pound or euro, I'll open up my FX book, has a lot size calculator. I'll put in what my stop loss is and what my risk is in dollar amount, $200, and it'll spit out a lot size for me that I can enter into my phone. You can also do a quick, it's not an exact, but a very quick way to figure out what your lot size is take your risk amount, so $200, and on euro and pound, it's, again, not exact, it's close, is just divide how many pips your stop loss is into that $200. So if you have a 10 pip stop loss and you're risking $200, that would be 1 lot. I'm sorry, that would be 2 lots. So if it moves 10 pips and you have 2 lots, you would lose $200. If it's a 7, you would divide 200 by 7 if it was a 7 pip stop loss. If it was a 20 pip stop loss, you would divide 200 by 20 and you have a 1 lot. It's going to give you a double digit number like 10 or 20, but you need to understand that there would be a decimal place in there. It'd be 1.0, 2.0, so on. The software is available on the MT5 or MT4 store. My son is actually a software engineer. I'm trying to get him to build me one that looks like this, but it's branded to Venator Trading, that I could offer to people, but he's still working on that. It's not ready. It's called Trade Assistant, and I think they have a version for MT5 and MT4, but If you just Google MT5 Trade Assistant, it would come up. I'll take a screenshot of it with my phone and put it up here for you here real quick so you can see what I'm talking about. All right. I'll throw it up here. Give me a second. I'll need to. Let's get rid of that. Done. Cancel. Sends it over here to my laptop, and then let me see if I can. Oh, I gotta minimize this. Hold on. So this is the Trade Assistant on my MT5 terminal right here. So I can just hit this line here. I hit this button where it says lines, and it'll pull up lines over here on my chart. And it'll even have, it'll look like the trading view. So it'll have a red box and a green box, and you can just kind of drag it up and down where you want it. You set this is your risk to reward. So it automatically drops it in there. When you hit lines, it sets it up. I can set this to risking. I have it set up to risk $200, but you can change that to percentage. So this could be 1% or 2%. You can change it in the settings and stuff. And then once you put your lines where you want them, you hit lock calculation, and it'll tell you exactly how many lots you're going to use. And then you just click sell limit or buy limit, or you can hit sell buy if you're just going to do a market order and not wait for anything. So, but this saves me so much time. Right here, and it's very easy. It operates very much like TradingView. When you do the short tool or the long tool, it looks very similar. It does cost, I want to say this was like 80 bucks or something, but it stays self-updated. They have one for MT4 as well, but you can actually go in here and set trailing stops. You can set a take partial and all of this stuff in the settings. You can dig in and get pretty involved in how to manage trades with this. I use it mainly to enter trades, and that's about it. I use it as basically an instant lot size calculator and position manager. So it sets, when I hit sell limit, based on where the lines are, it sets the entry, stop loss, and take profit with the appropriate lot size that I need to risk $200. Very well worth it. Great tool to have. And again, you can just Google MT5 Trade Assistant or MT4 Trade Assistant. There's a store, a market, so to speak, for MT4 and MT5 expert advisors. And they have all kinds of stuff out there. People have coded to help traders on MT4 and MT5. So go out there, help yourself. You can just use for free a MyFX calculator, lot size calculator. There's lot size calculators on the App Store that you can use, but trading live on the MT5 terminal makes it so much easier, and it's super fast, and I've never had any problems with it. There's others. You don't have to use that one. There's others out there available. That's the one I use. Once these prop firms start using TradingView, game over, man. You don't have to use this anymore. You can just do everything right here. Enter sell positions and buy positions and do it all inside TradingView. Manage it all live right on the chart that you use to actually analyze and chart on. Duh. We've got about 10 minutes here for the news to hit. And you can tell the market's just doing a whole lot of nothing right now. So just checking up on Twitter here. Seeing if there's anything interesting happening. Doesn't appear to be. This right here, by the way, is what trading actually looks like. Real trading looks like this. Nothing. And actually doing this YouTube stream has really helped me because I get bored trading. It's easy to get distracted, and talking through it like this has actually helped me quite a bit with my own focus and concentration, and has upped my, at least these last 2 weeks, has really upped my my winning streaks. I typically, over the course of 10 trades, I'll have 2 to 3 losers in there, 2 to 3 break evens, and then 2 to 3 or 4 winners. But we've only had 1 loss, and there's another one coming. There always is. It is the business. This is a business of losing well. That's what trading is about, losing well. I see all these traders on here. These young guys that have like 20, 30, 40, 50,000 followers. And I watch their videos and their lifestyle, and they just look like, I'm like, why are you following these guys, man? What is so attractive about a sloppy dude smoking a joint in front of, in a wife beater t-shirt? Like, there's nothing professional about it. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. There's nothing about it that looks like that's what I want to copy. That's what I want to repeat. That's what I want to be. I don't know. I guess I'm just saying that just because you're a good trader doesn't mean you're a good role model, maybe. And I would rather have someone who is a good trader and also a good role model, because there are typically good traders. It's a reflection of the rest of your life. Ahmad, I just follow on Twitter. Hey man, thanks for the follow. When you live stream, you have to wait A+ setup and not rush because you have someone watching you. Yep, you're exactly right, man. I don't really feel the pressure of people being here and watching. That doesn't really change, quite honestly, my viewpoint, knowing somebody's watching me. But it's just, I think the pressure I feel, and it's not, I don't even know if pressure is the right word. Maybe it's pressure. It's more of a pressure to be relevant during the stream, because just sitting here watching candles print, I love it. But finding things to talk about and say and keep the conversation going when there's nothing else happening on the screen right now, because we're not in a trade and we're just waiting for trades to happen. People don't want to watch that. That's not entertaining. They want to go to the streams where people are trading on the 1 minute time frame and they're calling out trades and they're trying to get in, they're trying to get out, and they're trying to make a quick fast buck. And that's not trading. I mean, it is trading. It is a form of trading. It's just not a good, consistent, profitable trading. You want trading is about waiting. Trading is about being patient. Trading is about knowing your edge and knowing what your high probability setups are. And so that's the, I guess, pressure that I feel. It's not about the trading side of this. It's more about from start to finish. We've been on a stream now for an hour and 29 minutes and nothing's happened. All I've done is explain what I see and what I'm waiting to see happen. And so yeah, I can understand why that's not, like, I'm not going to sit here and tell jokes for an hour and a half. I'm not going to sit here and play Minecraft while we're waiting for stuff to happen. That's not who I am. Who I am is a guy who just sits here and patiently waits and trades and wants to help other people understand that this is actually what trading looks like. This is what trading feels like. So we got about 3 more minutes here, and we will be waiting to see what happens with all of the live action coming up on the dollar news. You can see pound is edging up higher into its 30-minute fair value gap. Euro is edging back up higher into more buy-side liquidity area. We keep digging into buy-side liquidity. So we're just going to watch and wait and see if we get what kind of reaction we get on the news here. Does it make a deeper dig into buy side and then we get displacement down? Do we just get displacement down? But we're going to need to watch and wait and see confirmations and all of that. So if we're going to get a setup, it's probably going to be here in the next hour or so. And maybe sometime in that next window is probably when I would anticipate something finally actually happening. You don't take a trade into red folder news. During red folder news, you wait. And we've got a lot of red folder news in 2 minutes. And again, we just need a 0.45 R trade to finish out our phase 2 funded account here. Got about 45 seconds and our news hits. And we'll start seeing some volatility coming into the market here. You've got the 8:30 New York Open. You've got the news hitting. And then we'll get some action and see what the market wants to do on this holiday weekend, moving into the holiday weekend here. Will be a whole lot of nothing. Or are we going to make a new low for the week? Are we going to see a deep retracement back up? What are we going to get? Sorry, I mess with my chart all the time. Constantly moving it around. All right, here we go. seeing displacement, quick initial reaction lower here off of our news. Personal income came in as expected. Durable goods orders came in way higher than expected. Market is still unsure how to digest all of this news right now. Now we're getting a deeper run. We're getting some displacement lower here, which would create some breaker blocks on the 15-minute time frame. This is a breaker because this is the high that was made. On the 5-minute time frame, this is the breaker. This is the high that was made. These are not breakers because no liquidity was grabbed off of it. So we would need to see a close below here, bare minimum on the 5-minute and the 15. And a fair value gap left behind to say that we're going to reach for this sell side liquidity here. That does look like what's going to happen. Core price came in a little bit hotter. Personal income met. Personal spending was way higher than expected. So personal spending is rising. Core price index rose just a little bit. This means that you're probably still going to see a strong dollar here. So again, we want to see a close below this level here. This is your 15-minute breaker. This is the one that grabbed liquidity and then displaced below it. So this would be, if we can get a close here, this would be your 15-minute breaker. Right there. And then if you drop down into the 5-minute, you can see it's this whole area right here. So in the next 5 minutes, in the next couple of minutes, we want to see this true displacement down. And then we want to see this fair value gap left behind over the next 5 minutes, and then a run back up into here, leaving this sell side. We don't want to see it tag this sell side liquidity first. Okay, we don't want to. We want to see this left in place, as this would be our initial draw. So we've had a run of buy side liquidity that we targeted all morning since the stream. We've dug into this buy side liquidity. We've dug into these relative equal highs, this 15-minute breaker and fair value gap into a weekly volume imbalance. And now we've had displacement back below, an energetic move back below the run of those highs. So the 5-minute here is where I'll be targeting, and I want to see it close bearish here. I don't want to see it close back up inside of here in the next minute and a half. Otherwise, this could be a sell side liquidity draw, rebalancing some of this overnight imbalances that now it's going to run price higher. And if that's the case, then you would want to see displacement above here, and then this would be your bullish breaker to see price continue to move up higher for Friday. So those are my two scenarios I'm looking at here, and we'll just see which one plays out. I would like to see the bearish one play out personally and stay in line with my weekly bearish bias. I'm less inclined to take a buy here. About a minute left in this candle. It's pulling back hard off of these fair value gaps and grabbing sell side liquidity here and here. If the 5-minute doesn't close, the 15-minute can still close below here because we still have a good 10 minutes left on the 15-minute candle. So even if the 5 doesn't close on this time frame, the 15-minute breaker is still in play if it closes back below here over in the next 10 minutes or so. About 8 seconds, 7 seconds. So we do have a close here, it looks like, below on the 5-minute, creating a displacement back below and creating a breaker off of this run of highs. These are not breakers. This is a change of structure, but these are not breakers. They did not grab buy side liquidity. They did not make a new high. They didn't take it out. This is your breaker right here. It took out the high. So this 5-minute candle, we want to see it leave behind a fair value gap inside here that we can target as an entry to move lower into this area here. But we don't want to see it tag this sell side liquidity first. If it tags this sell side liquidity first, no trade on this setup. Then I would be looking to see what happens here. Do we grab this and get huge displacement back up? Because if that's the case, then I would consider going long here. If we grab this sell side liquidity first before we can get into our entry, we're gonna look. All right, if I'm gonna set this up on my MT5 over here, this is how I would do it. Probably be looking at something like this. This is what I would want to see, I think. I would want to see it get back up pretty healthily into this fair value gap. And I would have my stop above the body right here of the candle creating the fair value gap. And then I would only need it to get to like right there, because I'm risking $200 and I only need to make 0.5. So that's all I would need to pass my challenge. 1 to 2 would be right down here before we get to the sell side liquidity. So that's why I like that. We're going to wait though. We still have 2.5 minutes. A lot can happen on this candle in the next 2.5 minutes. And we're going to watch and wait. If we get a closure and it leaves that fair value gap, this is what I'm targeting. This is what my setup would be. A stop above the body of that candle with my entry just at the lower end of this area here inside this fair value gap. And I just need it to wick in and come down a little bit, and then we'll be ready to close it out. So as soon as we get in the last like 30 seconds or so, if it closes, I'm going to have a sell limit set ready to go. Not doing anything yet, not pushing any buttons. I'm not telling you to take this trade. This is how I trade. This is a demo account on my funded challenge. Just showing you how I go through the process, okay? Still have about 1 minute and 15 seconds left on this candle, on this 5-minute. And I don't want to see that sell side liquidity get run yet. I want to see it leave it in place. About 55 seconds. All right, I'm going to go ahead and set my not yet. Okay, I'm going to set my sell limit order here. The order has been placed. Take a screenshot of that. My dogs are coming down, of course, at the perfect timing. So I'm going to screenshot that. My sell limit has been placed. My entry is 07469 on my MT4. 07551 is my stop loss, and my take profit for 2.1 is 07297. But again, I just need it to, no, I don't need it to go that far. I just need it to come down a little bit. So we've got an order set here. I'm going to put this on Twitter real quick, and then I'm going to let my dogs out. He's got a rubber chicken in his mouth. That's what that crazy noise is that you hear behind me. Hold on 1 second. Trade update, EURUSD. All right, got that set. I'm going to turn the camera off just briefly for a moment so that I can let my dogs out to do their business. But I'm watching this happen. All right, they're outside. We're watching price pull back now. Wait and see if we get our entry, and I will be ready to close this out. If we get an entry and get tagged in, I'll be ready to close this out and get funded here. We're not tagged in yet. It hasn't reached back up into that fair value gap yet. I don't want to see it drop down below our take profit or into that sell side liquidity. If it does, I'll cancel this order. It did reach up right to the bottom of that 5-minute breaker. It did not touch it, so that wouldn't have been a valid entry either. Looks like it's going to run down towards our take profit without giving us an entry here. If it does hit the TP, I'll still leave this in place if it doesn't grab that sell side liquidity first. I'll still leave that entry in place. Even if it hits my original take profit, it's fine. I don't want it to see it grab that sell side liquidity first. I want to see it come back up, test that fair value gap before it tries to grab and dig into that sell side liquidity there. Oh, the joy of having big old dogs that see other dogs outside. Sorry about that. Probably super loud on your phone. My dog's freaking out. So it doesn't look like it's going to give us an entry here. Looks like it's going to try to just tackle that sell side liquidity without giving us any kind of decent pullback first. It's unfortunate. We did get a candle close on the 15-minute here, big displacement. If it leaves this sell side liquidity, you know, maybe we can target a 15-minute entry, but we're probably going to tag that without getting any pullback now. That was a good entry. It just did not cooperate with digging into that fair value gap at all. It may still come back up. I'd love to see it leave this in place. I don't think it's going to. Maybe it will. Maybe this 15-minute candle will get a good pullback and a good wick, because we left a big amount of body up here into this wick. But that breaker is what we're looking at and what we would love to see price reach into. If it does, I'm fairly confident if price reaches back up to that point, we'll get at least enough of a retrace to close out our count. I don't know that it'll come all the way back down, but we'll find out. Just gonna let it play out and see. We've done what we've done. We waited 2 hours, and we waited an hour and 45 minutes. We found our setup. We put in our entries, and now we're back to sitting and waiting. That's all we're doing. We're not doing anything else. We're not freaking out. We're not getting excited. We're not getting sad. We're not getting mad. That doesn't make me mad that it didn't come back up and get into that fair value gap and give me my entry. It doesn't make me mad at all. I don't care. This was the price I wanted. I can see the trophy buck starting to come through the woods, and I'm getting my scope up, and I'm like, okay, he's got to come right here, or I'm not going to get him today. And if he comes right there, I'm going to get him today. If he doesn't, he can move on and enjoy the rest of his day, and I'll come back tomorrow and try to find him again. It's the same thing over and over every single day. This is the setup. We wait for buy side liquidity to get run. We wait for displacement. We wait for a fair value gap inside of a breaker. And then it's either going to work or it's not. Over the long term, it works. Getting a nice little decent pullback here. Again, I'd like to see this. It's going to have to do a little bit of work here to get that high and reach back up into that fair value gap and into that breaker. I like that it's left behind the sell side liquidity here. It doesn't have to reach up into that fair value gap before it turns around and heads for the sell side liquidity. My gut says it's not going to, but we'll see. Just gonna wait. God, I can't believe my dog's freaked out like that. There was a little bitty Yorkshire Terrier got loose. So we live in this townhome development, and a little Yorkshire Terrier got loose from somebody going over to the dog park behind our townhome. And our back door was still cracked. And one of them saw it, and then they all just took off, screaming their heads off like they were going to murder the thing. Nice, decent pullback here at the start of this next 15-minute candle. Hopefully it doesn't reverse from here. It's leaving behind a nice fair value gap on this 15-minute breaker. Display. So you had this is your breaker again, because this is the last down candle that grabbed the highest buy side liquidity. It's not this candle. This did not grab any further buy side liquidity. If this had gone up and made a new high, then this would be your breaker, but it's not. This is your breaker. This 15-minute doesn't go any lower and doesn't give us our entry and leaves behind a nice fair value gap. Then the next 15-minute candle, I would anticipate getting that move up before we try to get into this juicy sell side liquidity right here. This is also called the one shot, one kill ICT concept. So you're looking to take a trade inside of the ICT kill zone, which for Forex pairs is 7 a.m. Eastern to 10 a.m. Eastern. That's when you're wanting to look for the moves that you're going to try to capitalize on. It's during that time. So fits that criteria right now. We're inside of that kill zone, and we're going for our one shot, one kill for the day. We've defined our parameters. We've defined where we want price to be. We've defined what we want it to do. It has met all the parameters that we need it to. And for the 5th day in the row, it has provided an A+ setup. A fair value gap inside of a breaker block after running buy side liquidity in line with our overall bias. It's an A+ setup. But just because it's an A+ setup doesn't mean we have an entry. Very likely may not get an entry. And that's fine. Again, I don't mind if it reaches this initial take profit. This is the drawn liquidity here. This is what I don't want to see. And if it hits that for giving us an entry, I will cancel this order. I don't care about this right here, right now. In a normal situation, in a normal trading event, I might, but because this is the drawn liquidity, this is the one that is the most attractive thing for price to want to be drawing to. If it wants to run higher, this is likely where it wants to go and to grab the orders under here if it wants to go higher. Let's see. So the blurry camera is probably because I had to get up. Let me see if I can. If I go to this, if I go to my laptop camera, it's not a great shot. But now if I go back, does that help? Maybe. I think I cleaned it up a little bit. Sometimes if I get up and walk away, it makes the camera blurry. When I move around, it's like, where do I focus? So. All right, so, you know, it's left that liquidity down here in place. We didn't get our entry triggered here, but that was weird. Do you see that when I do that? Didn't know it would do that. Give me a big old cursor. I really would like to see a retrace back up into that breaker and fair value gap before we get a run on this liquidity. If we get a run on this liquidity and we get a strong displacement back up, I would reverse my bias for Friday. Mostly because we've already reached our weekly objective, and it's Friday. And Fridays typically, after you've had expansion all week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Majority of the time, in general, you're not going to expect further huge expansion on Friday when the expansion's you've already gotten your weekly expansion. So you're expecting price to consolidate around or to retrace back up. So got about 4 minutes here till the hour closes, and this 15-minute candle closes and leaving behind a fair value gap. I'd like to see it close a little bit higher. Back up into here. It may not, but you can see here's our draw on liquidity for this morning's session, that if we're going to get a move higher, it would happen somewhere around here. You've already had our liquidity ran on the buy side with our displacement back below. It's the same thing every day. It's not complicated. It's a super simple concept, and it repeats over and over and over and over. And it just happens all the time. It happens it's happened 5 days in a row this week. This exact same setup. Every day it's happened. One of those turned out to be a winner. The other 3 were break-even trades, which were actually small winners because we moved them slightly into profit when we moved to break-even. Will we get funded here on this Friday, Memorial Day week, heading into Memorial Day weekend? Will price cooperate and give us an opportunity to get funded? I need price $7,469. I'm going to leave it there because that's probably where it'll get tagged in. I need a 1. I need a 0 point. That's what I need. I'm risking this to make this. A quick little reaction back down off that area. That is 10K in funding if we can get that entry. About 1 minute left in this hour, and in this 15 minute, and in this 5 minutes. So we're closing out an hourly candle here. We're closing out a 30-minute candle. Closing out this 15-minute candle that's leaving behind a fair value gap inside a breaker. Closing out this 5 minute that still hasn't reached up into that breaker and imbalance. So hopefully this 9 o'clock hour opens, we get a push up and get an hourly wick up, and then we move down. I would hate to see the 9 o'clock hour open and just flash straight down to the sell side. I like this move back up though. Hopefully we can hold that up for the next 20 seconds or so. I'm going to get my hand on the MT5 mouse so I don't do what I did last time on phase 1 and not be ready to close this out if we get triggered in and make our $88.23. All right, here's the open of the next hourly candle. We're getting a push up into that fair value gap, right into the tip of that breaker block. I would like to see a deeper push here, starting to get it, approaching our entry line. I'll let you know if we get wicked in here on MT5 or not. It's inside that breaker, inside that fair value gap. We're not triggered in yet, and it's starting to pull away. That would be really unfortunate if it swerves us like that close. We are super close to getting wicked in. I'm not going to move my entry. I'm not going to do anything. This is where I want it to go. So if it's going to go there, it's going to go there. And if it's not, I don't get my entry. This trade's still valid until that sell side liquidity gets run or my stop loss gets hit. And we're not even in it yet, but that's why the limit orders are in place. Nothing has been canceled. Everything is exactly as it was. But I would like to see one more push up here. Get us in. Still not there. Getting closer. We need another pip or two. There we are. We're triggered in. Now I'm just going to wait. See if we can get a pullback here. Down back below our breaker block box entry. This candle, this 5-minute candle opened with no wick, which, as you know, no wick candles are draws on liquidity, and price does not like to leave no wicks. So I'll watch this over here on my MT5 now. Not watching this on, I'm going to grab a quick screenshot right here just so I can show that we've been triggered in. We want to see price begin to pull off of this fair value gap and breaker block. If it runs up and slaps us, it does. No big deal. Every time I place a trade, I have accepted the loss before it happens. When I place this sell limit entry, I accepted this 2% loss if it gets hit. And because we're 4% up, we're still 2% in profit on phase 2 and one more winner, and you've crossed the line. And not even a full winner again. So I have two opportunities in this trade setup. Whether it's this trade or it's in a trade next week. If I lose this trade next week, I'm still at 2%. I have to get to 5. I don't even need a full 1 to 2 again. So I have two opportunities to not even get a full trade winner, and I can still get funded. This is a great setup. I love this setup. We've had buy-side liquidity get run. We've had displacement lower. We've had a breaker block form. We've had a fair value gap inside of all that. And so I would want to see a pullback here. And we may not get it. Again, I said yesterday on the stream, I would rather lose quick. I would rather be wrong very abruptly than to be wrong and watch it for 2 hours and then I'd be wrong. I would rather definitely be wrong fast and just be done with it. It's like ripping off the band-aid. Let's make that fast. Back at our entry here. Again, I would like to see I'd like to start seeing some displacement lower here. We've reached an OTE area. We're back into a premium level of this leg down. The last leg that we just made down, this displacement leg down, we're at a premium, and we want to see price turn around here pretty quick. If not, then our stop loss is definitely in danger of getting slapped here. I'm surprised we haven't taken more losses here in these two phases already. Statistically, I lose right at 50 to just under 50%. So statistically, it's time to take a loss. I don't want to take a loss. I never want to take a loss, but Currently, it appears things are not moving in our favor. We do need to start seeing some movement back down now out of this 15-minute fair value gap. Price back down into our entry in profit now, slightly. We needed to get below that breaker. I think that's about where we needed to go to reach funding status. So we'll see. We're at $35. We need to get to, okay, here we go. It's starting to move. We're $35 into profit. It's coming back up, not wanting to drop lower quicker, unfortunately. We're at 460, 455, 460, 470, 475. I'm calling out, this is 10,475 is where we're at right now. We need 25 more dollars. I have my mouse ready to go to close this out. We're at 475 still. Just sitting here waiting. And we're pulling back up, dropping back down. 495, 495. Come on. Let's go. 496, 480. Oh my gosh. Here we go. $10,513. Screenshot that. We're 10K funded. Let's go. Let's go. How about you? Tweet that out. Let's get that on the tweeters. Let's go. Oh man, that feels so good. 7 days on phase 1. 6 days on phase 2. We have knocked it out. Now I'm going to leave this TP up here. We'll see if this actually ends up being a full 1 to 2 winner. I'll stay on the stream and see if that plays out a little bit here, how that plays out. See if we do indeed draw down to this sell side liquidity and if we would have gotten a full winner here. So, but for all intents and purposes, phase 2 is finished. So, man, I'm super happy about that. Glad you guys were here to watch it live. It'll be a good short later today when we update all of this. So, let's go check my email and see how fast. Let's see how fast we get our email from Bespoke Funding. Look at that. It's already in my account. Bespoke Funding. Congratulations. Hi, Brad. Congratulations on passing phase 2 of the Bespoke Funding Challenge for account number. You have proven yourself to be a profitable trader, and we are excited to have you as one of our funded traders. There it is. There it is. That was fast. So what's next? I'll receive an email shortly. You know what? I'm just going to pull this up. I'm going to take some screenshots on my email here and put them up here so you guys can see what exactly happened. And can I edit that? I think I can because I'm going to tag Bespoke on here. Edit tweet. Man, what a beautiful trade setup. times this week we've had a beautiful trade setup, and that does not happen every week, but it happened this week, and we capitalized on it. We could have gotten super frustrated early on this week with all of those break-even trades that we kept getting into, but we were patient. We stayed consistent. We stayed level with our plan, and we executed exactly what we said we were going to do. And this is how trading works. This is what it looks like to sit down and trade every day. You sit around for 2 hours, you do a whole lot of nothing, and then when that buck steps into your shooting lane, you take it down. It's a trophy buck, another rack going up on the wall. Love it. And I'm excited because it's worth getting excited about when you pass a challenge, especially when you pass a phase 2 and you have funding. Now it's real. Now it's real. Now it's no longer a demo trading process. It's no longer me proving to some company that I can manage funds. Now all of these trades from here on out, they're real money. It's actual money. And so yeah, man, super excited. I'm so happy for the way this all played out these last 2 weeks. Phase 1 in 7 days, phase 2 in 6 days. Nothing but A+ setups, well over a 50% win ratio. I'm gonna go ahead and put in update my stats here. Live on the stream, we had 5 winners. And this is a winner because it's already been closed out in profit. Even though it's not a 1 to 2, it still may be a 1 to 2. It definitely looks like it could be a 1 to 2. Let's just measure where we would go to break even. This is an 8, so we would be at 12 pips. We would be moving to break even. So right about here, right at the lower end of this body of this candle right here, if price reaches there, we would move to break even on this trade. If you're still in this trade, I still think this is your draw on liquidity, but it could just turn around and head higher. It could just consolidate the rest of the day. All we needed it to do was that little bit of work, and it did that for us. And man, what a great setup. Beautiful. The system is so simple. And I'm super. All right, let me get my. Let me go over here. I'm gonna get into my Gmail. I'll take screenshots so you can see exactly what these emails look like. That was super. I mean, they sent over the congratulations super fast. So we've got. I'll screenshot this. Here is the first screenshot, and then let me go down here. The what's next. What's next is I'll receive an email shortly from Deal. Just making sure there's no other personal information on here that you don't need to see. There's not. All right, so let me get this minimized here a little bit, and then I'll come down over here and I'll throw these up so you guys can see. Here is the there's that. That's the top part of the email, and then this is the bottom part of the email here, telling you what's next from Bespoke. So the congratulations, we passed phase 2, and then here's what's coming. So it'll tell us exactly how we'll receive live funded account within 24 to 48 hours. So with it being a holiday weekend, maybe we don't get it this weekend, maybe we do. We'll see how fast. I'll update on Twitter as that stuff comes in. Now I'm going to go over to my, I can delete that, and I can delete that. We're going to go over to my dashboard on Bespoke, and I'll try to pull that up so you can see that it is in fact, we can get screenshots of all of our stats on there. I think it's, what's my... Dang it. Is it this? I hardly ever get on this dashboard. I can't remember the password I used. think I had to do this last time on phase 1 because I didn't use my password. All right, we're almost to login. Bear with me here. Let me pull up our, I'm going to pull up my stats here. So this comes down, and then I'm going to pull this up here, and we'll just make this full screen. So here's my dashboard on Bespoke Funding. This is what it looks like. And while I'm here, I'm going to be grabbing screenshots that we can use later on. You can see we were never in below the account balance. And we've passed and hit our high water mark. We started this on May 18th, and today is May 26th. And that's 6 trading days that we took to do that. So there's all that. Let me get a screenshot that says passed. There you go. Profit target reached. There you go. Get some screenshots of this. We'll grab our stats here. So our current equity is over the profit target. Our day's equity, prior day's equity, that was yesterday's win. Average loss, there you go. That's how many lots I used. A trade expectancy, and that's because of these break evens. My average risk reward is quite high. Because my average loss is 1 cent and my average win is $400 or $900. I mean, you can just see like $90 is my average win. This is my average. So this is where these dashboards. Okay, so we would be moving to break even. Let me pull up my trading view again. We would be moving to break even here. If you're still in this trade, and I'll throw that up on Twitter as well. USD, move to break even if you are still in trade. Tweet. All right, now we'll go back over how do I get this down. Where'd my there it is. I don't know how to get it back. Here's every trade I took right here. So we had a break-even trade, break-even trade, break-even trade, winner, and then a small winner. This is what we needed to finish out. So that's fantastic. Price is approaching our, and here's my profit target. So you're about to take profit. Every trade we took, I'm not going to take a screenshot of that. It's fine. Escape that. All right, we can close this out and we can get our trading view back up. And we're about to smash take profit here on this 1 to 2 low easy hanging fruit. There we go. TP smashed. Let's get that up on the tweets. And how do I need to add some fire emojis to that. There we go. TP got hit there. So not only had we needed this to just be a regular old trade, we would have made another 4% right there. So man, oh man, that is how you end a week And it's nice going into a holiday weekend. It just makes it that much sweeter. My gosh. So glad we got that done, and we can just enjoy the rest of the weekend now. And we can go into next week as a funded trader looking for some more A+ setups. So thank you guys so much for watching and joining in. I hope that you're learning something. I hope that you're seeing how this is possible and what the future could be if you can just stay consistent, lock in on your system, lock in on your trade management, lock in on your setups. Be patient, be patient, be patient, and wait. We had 5 beautiful setups this week. 3 of them were break evens, and then we got to, 2 of them were break evens. 3 of them were break evens. 3 of them were break evens, and then a winner, and then a winner. Just feel super fortunate about it. Did you see my question? Corey, let me see. So when you get funded, will there ever be a period when you don't stream because you're waiting on payday? No. I'm going to stream every day. And so when you're funded, so here's how I'm going to manage this. This will just be a little bit of a breakdown of how I'm going to do funded accounts, and I'll probably do a short on this, or maybe a longer form video explaining this process. So this 10K account, I will be using. Look at this price, reaching for this sell side liquidity right here. It's fantastic. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful how the market moves. It's just, when you see it, you see it. And when it clicks, and it's just fantastic. How much money are people paying for this in private Discord channels and Telegram groups right now? Back to my train of thought, Corey. Sorry I got off here. So the 10K account, we will trade just like we trade every day, and we have 14 days until our first payout. So once I place a trade, I have 14 days till for my first payout. So as soon as I get my funded account on day 1, if I don't get a setup to an entry, I'll probably take a micro lot trade just to start that 14-day calendar timer. And I'm just going to trade my A+ setups, man. I want to take every opportunity I can for my setup to give me my edge. So if I can make 2%, 4%, 6%, 8%, whatever that is, over 14 days. So for 14, so we have this is 14 trading days that we've been doing right here. And we have now made 13%. So we made 8% on phase 1, and we've made 5% on phase 2. That's 13%. I don't know that we'll get all those same setups when I'm funded. I don't know what it's going to do. You're entering into a brand new month. So we'll just have to wait and see. But I'm not going to stop trading, and I'm not going to stop streaming waiting for funding. I will stream every day, and I will try to identify the setups that I need. And when funding gets here, I'll take whatever payout I can get. I'll try to get my refund. And then whatever amount that is, let's just say we're just playing the what if game. I can make 5% over those 14 days. That's $500 plus my $100 refund from purchasing this 10K challenge. That's $600. So then I will go and I will get on Bespoke funding, and I'm going to find the challenge that I can purchase for whatever price I have. So a $100,000 challenge is $529. And most of these firms are running discounts all the time. So I'll be looking to see what kind of discount they might offer. But if I can get 5% on this funded thing and get my refund, I'll take all that money and I'll buy the highest challenge that money can buy. I'll still have my 10K account, and now I'll be working on a phase 1 and phase 2 of a challenge. And here's why I won't stop trading that 10K, because I'm going to be using that 10K funded account as my master account for my trade copying. And I'm going to show you how to set up a trade copier. I'm going to set up a trade copier where I will use this account, this 10K account, I will use to copy trades for the next challenge that I'm doing. And if that challenge goal is to reach 8%, that's what I'm going to be going for on my 10K account, so that I can pass phase 1 of that next challenge. So I'm going to be monitoring everything on my 10K account, and the next challenge will be set up, assuming we can get funded, assuming we can get a payout. This is all an assumption. We're funded. We haven't gotten anything yet. No money has been made. We've done phase 1. We've done phase 2. Now we're into funding. The next step is to get a payout. And then I'm just telling you the process from that point on. We'll purchase a challenge. We'll set it up on a trade copier. This live funded 10K account will be used to manage whatever that other challenge is. And so that's why I won't stop streaming and won't stop trading, just waiting for funding. While we're in that challenge, we will still be getting payouts from the 10K account, which we can use to buy more challenges and add them to the trade copier and just keep it all going. And you'll see how the snowball starts building up as we move along. But that's the plan that we're going for. Man, what a beautiful trade. We reached right down into this sell side liquidity, and what do you see? Instant reaction off of grabbing sell side liquidity. It may make a deeper dive here, but it doesn't have to. The objective for price to reach into has been reached, and so you might see displacement now back higher and reach back up into this weekly volume to finish out the week. It could just go lower. It could make a new low of the week here. I don't know. It could. I don't anticipate that happening, but all we needed was this right here, and that's what we got. So waited around for a couple hours. We're patient, and the patient trader gets paid. The patient trader gets paid. So, all right, guys, I'm going to call the stream right here. I'll get back on Twitter and keep up with everything's going on. I'll post some screenshots there. I'll be putting a short out on YouTube, just kind of documenting today and how we got funded. And then when we get our stuff from Deal and this other stuff from Bespoke about setting up the funded account, I will post screenshots of all of that on Twitter's as well. So follow along there as we document the whole process. But you guys have a great weekend. Enjoy the holiday here in the States. Enjoy your time off. Hang out. Hope you have some good weather and have some fun stuff to do. But I'm going to get out of here. So adios.